I had a Ugandan passport and I have a Canadian passport. Right? So, and he asked me, like, he didn't even ask me, I offered to put aside one citizenship in order to serve my country.
In an exclusive interview with NBS Television, Dr. Lawrence Muganga, who had been nominated for the position of State Minister for Internal Affairs, spoke candidly about his experience before the committee.
He started really cross-examining me and painting a picture in front of other members of the committee that I actually had 3 passports. Something that was really, really, really wrong.
Muganga maintains that he adequately responded to all questions raised by committee members and highlighted his contribution to Uganda's education sector and national development. He says several members appeared satisfied with his explanation and were ready to support his approval before the discussion took a different turn.
5 members seconded him. You could hear this member saying, I second him, I second him, I second him, to almost 6 or 7. So basically, he started asking me now, cross-examining me.
Muganga insists that he has never held 3 passports or citizenships at the same time. He questions why he appeared to face a different standard from other nominees, including Calvin Echodu, Shatse Kutesa, who also faced citizenship-related scrutiny but were ultimately approved.
And they had actually passed 2 ahead of me who were like me. Okay? They simply wrote an email to their these other countries where they had citizenship to renounce, but on email, and they brought that to the committee and they allowed them. Now, when it came to me, that methodology did not work.
Muganga says he was born in Uganda and that both his parents are Ugandan citizens. Muganga added that the matter now rests within the appointing authority, President Joey Museveni, whom he thanked for entrusting him with the nomination.
All of us, we want to contribute something to our country. We want to serve the country.
Oyinza okugamba nti embeera oba situation involvinga Dr. Lawrence Muganga yeyongedde okutwala twist ez'enjawulo. By the close of the day yesterday, twategedde nti he came out and said nti Honorable Tayebwa yabadde responsible okumulemesa to be vetted. Nti bamu accusing of holding 3 passports. Initially, we all knew tizabadde 2, Canadian, Ugandan. So kigambibwa nti mu committee ya parliament there was a report that had proof mbu ana passport ye Rwanda. Muka video ke nguzanyire nga video etandika akugamba mbigambo bye nti sina passport ya Rwanda. Nti I'm a Canadian and a Ugandan dual citizen. Nagena maso nagamba nti he was willing to give up. Ngola ku screen yao Muganga to renounce Canadian passport after vetting. Agana maso nagamba nti some of the ministers babaddenga ye. Naye mbubo they had a soft landing. Nti tewabaddewo bijinji. I'm sure by now oboli ku internet you've seen the audio moving around. Eyinza okuba nkadde, but in the words of Mr. Muganga akugamba nti he has proof. Nti the committee had made up its mind already okumulemesa okufuuka cabinet minister. Nti baade bamaze okumuteekako ekijinji even before the vetting began. So bannayuganda ab'enjawulo bavudde ne bagamba nti oli kuzannya country oba race card. Ekyokugamba nti because of Rwanda, people are fighting you. Bali kulwana. Ugandans came out and fought against that narrative, including Daudi Kabanda. Gagamba nti Muganga was not rejected by the committee for being a person from Rwanda. Nti era waliwo abagezaako kupushinga narrative eyo okulimba eggwanga. naye nti bamuganye lwakuba he was holding a Rwandan passport. Of course, Dr. Muganga fired back. Nagamba, Honorable Kavanda, with all due respect, I must set the record straight. Kantereze ensonga. I do not, mu capital letters, hold a Rwandan passport. Byabulimba, that's being pushed by the Deputy Speaker, Tayebwa. So mibigambo byakugamba nti maybe there's an agenda against me. Waliwo abanwanisa. Kwe gamba nti we have it on record nti Honorable Tayebwa mu bigambo bye onwards. In every vetting session, we have to fail someone. Nti wali vetting waliwo gwe tulina okusuula. And this time it had to be you, Dr. Muganga. Read that again. Yakugamba nti bamugambye. Nti era aina evidence nti mbuli vetting waliwo omuntu atalina kuyitamu. Agenda maaso n'agamba nti okusalawo kuno kwakolebwa even before the process began. It was never about passports, qualifications or integrity. It was personal. So ye alowooza nti bamulwanisa. They are fighting him. It was calculated. Bakabaze. It was kwawulamu. Mujja kunsaasira, some of the words I'm saying them in Uganda because YouTube mulimu language jetayagala. Video bajaji flagging. And in due course we shall release the audio that proves it. Stay tuned. Ngaye nkugambye, there is an audio moving around. Siyinza kuprovinga oba it's the audio jayogerako oba nkadde. Uganda ogimanyi. Agenda maaso n'agamba nti Honorable Kavanda kye nayiseemu was hatred. Of course, the tweet was long. Nja kuwa obudde ogisome, but yakugamba they are fighting him. Yesterday, I gave you my thoughts about this whole situation or a scenario of omuntu okubanga na passports bili. I think it's something we need to revise as a country. Just because nina obutuuze mu nsi endala, it doesn't mean I don't love my country. It doesn't mean I don't have allegiances to Uganda. There are so many people about traveling and bagenda abroad, they end up with 2 passports. Because wogenda mu West and see za Europe, USA, Canada. You spend 5 years, you become a citizen. Wobo liliko. So emanga ndi dual citizen. For example, ndi Mungereza plus Ugandan. Why shouldn't I hold office back home? A country I've lived in, where I was born, where my parents are born, a country where I pay taxes, a country where wayinza okugamba arguably if I die, gye bajja okunziika. These are laws we need to revise as a country because I think, forgive the language, they are stupid. You're missing out on competent people because of ebintu ngebyo. Dr. Muganga, you might have your opinions about him. Ngawe nagambe onakule gulo. I gave my thoughts. I made them clear. I think this is deeper than just obutuuze. Sijja kukijawo. Nchimanyi, I read the comments. Abantu abasinga obungi, you didn't like what I said, but sijja kukijawo. So I can never come to terms with the whole thing of nti nyina obutuuze mu nsi bbiri. Therefore, I'll betray my country. Because yendowooza behind that. And you don't have clear allegiances to Uganda. That's something as a country. Chitulina okuba mu torch. Otherwise, we are missing out on talented people. Abantu abalina potential obusobozi okukola emirimu. Case in example, omwami oyo. Muganga Lawrence. Of course, right now, oyinza okugamba it's in the president's hands. The general. Yajja okusalawo agambe whether I'm appointing her or not. What's my feeling? I think no matter what has happened, he'll become a minister. I think he'll give up obutuuze bwe obwe Canada. Of course, none of us has ever been a president, so toyinza kujja n'ongamba nti things are done like this. Kosto fugangako. I think he'll end up being a cabinet minister. bajamu appointinga. He'll give up obutuuze bwe obwe Canada, and you never know, he might do a good job. Kyemugambye ekyo nti you miss out on someone ayina obusobozi because you're fixated oba wateekawo amateeka ngenda gambye ag'ekisiru nti Sheebah olina obutuuze bw'Obungereza oli muna Uganda, therefore you can't hold office. I will never agree with that. For the majority of the people abalina obutuuze dual citizenship, kino nkigamba, if they grew up in Uganda, their allegiances are with Uganda. Obutuuze obwo bayinza oba bufunye mu ngeri endala. For example, marriage, nga baluddemu ensi, nga bagendayo okukola, they make that money and reinvest it back in Uganda. In a way they've contributed to the country okusinga abantu bangi mu ggwanga. So to tell me nti they cannot hold office beats my understanding. Of course, a takeaway eri and I respect it, but it's something we need to revise as a country. Because I think little zamabega tweyongereyo. Katwogere ku Keko ne Sheebah. Keko came out n'agamba nti yene Sheebah balina some sort of understanding. Yagamba nti, yes, I did date Sheebah Karungi. We were together for 2 years, but we eventually parted ways because she felt her career wasn't progressing mu direction into. I think she was becoming a little desperate while my career was taking off. Magaseraka, I think Keko yalista. Mbu later signed with Jeff Chiwa, in my view, tried to sabotage me. The Jeff Chiwa yagezako kusabotaginga Keko. Jeff did everything in his power to make her his puppet. So ebintu nga bino, what's the relevance of this? Keko, okujjako nti you're looking for talkability. Okujjako nti oyagala abantu bakwogereko mawulire. Like what's happening right now. Ofuna muchi to bring up old stories. What's the relevance of this? What do you gain in coming out? That's if this happened. Of course, waliwo mukisa nti you're lying. Waliwo mukisa nti ngenkugambye you're looking for relevance. You're looking for talkability. Ofuna muchi okuvayo ne stories nga zino. Ebintu nga bino we see them among teenagers. Naye abantu abakulu, we expect the behavior to be different. We expect the conduct to be mature. Kale, assuming this happened, you parted ways, why bring it up right now? Abantu banji will come out, bajja kugamba you're looking for relevance. We got talkability. Nti naberako ne Esther. Naberako ne Sheebah. That's what most people saw in this. Abantu abasinga obungi kyovola tebakiwadde budde. And as we see a rise in podcasts Muganga, you're going to see a lot of nonsense like this. Ogenda kulaba ebibuuzi nga bino, because microphone eno eina some sort of effect, whatever careful. Ekwogeza. Microphone and a combination of a camera oyinza okwogera n'oyitika. Some things are better to be left buried. Ebintu nga relationships, if you've been with someone, me I'm of a firm belief nti if you separate, kigwerawo. Bino ebyokuvayo n'ogamba nti naliko n'oyo omuntu ofunamu ki, what do you gain? And the picture looks even worse singa omuntu oyo abanga kangambe celebrity ngali mu limelight oba they are public figures. Abantu abasinga obungi will conclude you're looking for relevance. Oyagala talkability, oyagala kutambulira ku mboozi eyo kyetuyita trend surfing. Nti ekiriwo kyobuukidde. So be careful, ba podcasters. Microphone tekupika. Waliwo story ya Kafeero. Kafeero's remains exhumed for DNA testing. Abaana, they are fighting for a mali. To a point nti omugenzi bamuziikudde to settle a dispute. Omusajja omu yagamba nti omuntu yakola ssente naye ate ssente zaamulalula. Ebintu nga bino should be a big wake-up call to especially men, abasajja. Nti woba oyina kambere polite wano, ng'olina family ennene, ng'oli ssemaka, olina abakyala bangi, ozadde mu bantu ab'enjawulo. The odds are high nti wonoofa. Naawe andaba, if you're a man, abantu bajja kujja, they'll fight for your mali. As long as you have multiple kids, multiple women, nga bamama banjawulo, kasita ofa board, emmali bajja kugirwanira. So be careful. Siri ku blaminga Kafeero wano, tonfuna bubi. Maybe the age or the era in which he existed, these things were acceptable. Naye in the 21st century, mubiri omuntu yazaalibwa, let's say from 95, tulina family planning. There's awareness. Try and avoid some of these things. Abaana abangi, abakyala abangi, gwe muvubuka omutandaba, ngoloozo ojja kuzaala mwono nono, unless you don't have plans of being successful. Nga golooza you'll never be rich. Otherwise, it will bite you. Ojja kungamba tojja kubeera, you don't care. Naye wandyagadde you had work, abaana bo baginyumirwemukko. So oba olina abaana 2 mu bakyala 6, sincerely, what do you expect is going to happen? Kyanaku nnyo okulaba nti omulambo baagugjeeyo for DNA testing. That point okugituukako in itself is bad. Kiba kibi nnyo nti people cannot sit down ne bakkaanya. Emmali eba mmali. Kyanaku nnyo. It's very sad. Rest in peace, Paul Kafeero. Then we had Jose Chameleone. He came out n'akola statement nti he's giving up his concert date nti ajuwa King Saha e Lugogo. Now things took a bad turn nga King Saha afuddeyo n'abyega n'agamba nti byogera ku nze sibitegeera. The date was 4th of December omwaka guno. King Saha ya issuing a statement n'agamba nti sibimanyiiko. Was it a marketing plot oba ekintu kye baafumba Jose Chameleone and management to push out there? Tetumanyi. Abantu b'e Lugogo, did they tell Chameleone nti King Saha was inquiring about this date? Tetumanyi. Nenga it happened. Chameleone issued a statement n'agamba nti I'm giving up my date for King Saha. Then shortly after, King Saha came out n'abyegana. It was total drama and chaos. Tugamba Katemba yaliwo naye Uganda edduka ku speed etagambika. One day olina amawulire bwe gati, the next day gaweddewo. Waliwo kasikiti akali mu kutambula, I'm sure you've seen it, that depicts what goes on mu ggwanga lyaffe. Tuli ku Okero, Anita Among, right now tuli ku Dr. Muganga. Encha, you never know. Tujja kubeera ku mulala. Njagala ompendowooze mu comment section wansaawo ku bintu ebyenjawulo byenkoonyeeko enebadde crazy things in Uganda. Kwegamba eggwanga lyaffe ebintu that are insane nga tuyinza okugamba tebiggwaayo. Mpendowooze mu comment section wansaawo. Nja kulaba mu video edako. Peace.